Think about what you're doing right now. You're looking at this screen. But you aren't just staring through two biological windows. You are actually exposing your naked brain to the cold, open air. We are taught to think of our eyes as separate tools, like cameras mounted on the front of our skulls, sending footage back to a computer inside. We talk about the eye and the brain as if they are two completely different things, the lens and the observer. But that is just a convenient lie from high school biology. In reality, your brain isn't locked away in some dark, isolated vault. It got out. When you were just a tiny cluster of cells folding in on itself in the womb, a part of your developing nervous system grew restless. It pushed its way outward, right through the bone. Those wet, glistening spheres in your sockets aren't separate sensors at all. They are forward-deployed outposts of your brain. It is the only part of your central nervous system that dares to leave its armored fortress to touch the physical world directly. Every time you blink, you aren't just dusting off a lens. You are lubricating the exposed surface of your mind. When a cold breeze hits your face, your central nervous system is feeling the actual temperature of the room. This changes what it means to look someone in the eye. It is no longer just a glance. It is an intimate, almost terrifying meeting with their exposed nervous system. If this shifts how you see yourself, subscribe to the MindCraft and hit the like button. We are peeling back the layers of our biology here, and we have barely scratched the surface of the strange, unsettling machinery that makes us human. Let us go a bit deeper into this. Think about what this physical link actually means for how we experience reality. If your eyes are your brain reaching out into the light, then what happens when you make eye contact with someone else? Are you just looking at them, or are your two minds physically touching through the air? To see how this escape actually happens, we have to go back to the very beginning of your story. Just 3 weeks after conception, you were nothing more than a flat, 3-layered disk of cells. Then, a strange thing happens. The top layer folds inward to form the neural tube, the blueprint for your entire nervous system. As the front of this tube swells to form your brain, it doesn't stay closed. Two tiny, hollow pouches bud outward from the deep, ancient core of the forebrain. We call them the optic vesicles. Like drops of oil rising through water, these neural buds migrate toward the surface of your developing face. They don't wait for the skull to form. They actually dictate where the skull has to leave its doors open. When they reach the outer edge, they fold back on themselves to create double-walled cups, which become the retina. The stalks connecting these cups to the brain narrow down into what we call the optic nerves. But these aren't normal nerves. The nerves in your arms and legs are insulated by Schwann cells. The optic nerve, however, is wrapped in oligodendrocytes, cells found only inside the brain and spinal cord. It is even wrapped in the exact same protective membranes and bathed in the same spinal fluid that cradles your deepest thoughts. When your skull finally hardens into a protective cage, it has to leave two giant, vulnerable holes at the front. Your eyes didn't grow on your face and wire themselves to your brain. Your brain grew your face around its own outstretched arms. You are looking at a creature whose mind forced its way through its own skeleton to see. And it makes you wonder, what else is your brain quietly projecting into the world through those open doors while you think you are just taking information in? Because of this direct physical connection, your eyes have to live by the same strict, fragile rules that govern your thoughts. The retina is literal brain tissue, which means it needs extreme protection from the chaotic environment of the rest of your body. You have a highly selective security system called the blood-brain barrier to keep toxins and hormones from poisoning your neurons. Your eyes have the exact same system, known as the blood-retinal barrier. It is so isolated, so heavily guarded, that your own immune system doesn't even know your eyes are there. This is called ocular immune privilege. Your eyes essentially exist in a state of permanent quarantine, hidden from the defenses circulating in your blood. If a serious injury tears this barrier open and your white blood cells discover the proteins inside your eye, your immune system will treat this exposed brain tissue as a foreign invader. It will launch a brutal, self-destructive attack. And it won't just destroy the damaged eye, it will attack the healthy, untouched one too, trying to wipe out the alien tissue until you are left completely blind. This condition, called sympathetic ophthalmia, is a chilling reminder of how blind your body's defenses really are. The very guards meant to protect you would destroy your sight if they ever realized what was behind the lens. It makes you realize how thin the line is between your physical body and the organ that makes you who you are. But this goes way beyond biology and defense. It changes how we think about consciousness itself. We are taught that eyes are just passive cameras, gathering raw light and sending it down a wire for the brain to translate. But because the retina is an active, living piece of your brain, it doesn't wait for signals to reach the visual cortex to start thinking. The neurons inside your retina are already performing complex calculations. They filter contrast, detect motion, adjust to light, and prioritize shapes before the information even travels down the optic nerve. Your eyes are pre-processing computers, running advanced cognitive programs right at the edge of the physical world. When you look at a starry night, or the face of someone you love, your brain isn't just interpreting a projection on a screen inside your head. It is reaching out, using its own naked tissue to physically catch the light bouncing off the world. You are a mind draped in bone, muscle, and skin, with two glistening points where your thoughts meet the universe directly. The brain, locked in its dark cage, relies on these two protruding droplets of itself to know that anything else exists. You are looking at the cosmos, and the cosmos is looking right back at the raw, vulnerable surface of your mind. We spend our lives hiding behind our faces, feeling safe behind a wall of bone. But every time you look in a mirror, you see the quiet truth: your inner world has already broken through. You aren't an observer trapped inside a machine. You are the brain itself, reaching out into the light, forever exposed to the beautiful, wild chaos of the world.